The forest stands silent, engulfed in an ethereal layer of snow. Amy and Josh, a young couple, parked their car near a barrier and assembled their equipment.
Wow, honey, this is a winter wonderland?
Our friends were right. This place is magical.
As they progress, the forest thickens around them. The initial sense of wonder starts to blend with a growing sense of isolation. Josh and Amy navigate the forest, their joviality giving way to an unspoken unease. The woods seem to be closing in, the path becoming less defined. A startling sight halts their carefree stride. A streak of blood stains the otherwise pristine snow.
Oh, Josh, look at that. This is blood.
Yes, it looks like it. It's dripping from a branch. Some animal must have been injured.
The once friendly weather takes a turn. The sun hides behind gathering clouds and the snowfall starts in earnest. Amy and Josh trudge onward, the snowfall becoming thicker, reducing visibility. The forest, once inviting, now feels soapy. Stumble upon the sign. A tree marked with branches forming an arrow. The sign seems weathered. It seems that Sophia and Max told them about this very sign. Amy and Josh follow the indicated path, each step weighed down by a growing sense of dread. Amy and Josh, now cautious, navigate the increasingly unfriendly terrain. The natural beauty of the forest fades, replaced by an eerie silence that engulfs them.
Did you hear that?
I don't like this. Something feels wrong.
Perhaps it was Josh's imagination, but Amy also heard strange sounds in the distance. They sounded like screams. Perhaps these are animals, but Josh and Amy could not believe that they would find themselves in such an environment, like in a horror movie. They were sure that the sounds they were hearing were the sounds of the wild. They wanted to believe it. Their GPS signal vanishes, and the snowfall becomes a curtain of white obscuring their path.
We just need to retrace our steps. We'll find our way back. Don't panic, darling. Just trust me.
Another sign emerges, but this one is unsettling. Ropes hanging from trees and a heap of animal skulls arranged in a macabre display. Amy and Josh exchange nervous glances, the silence punctuated only by their ragged breaths.
Let's get out there. We shouldn't have come here.
They decide to turn back, but discover fresh tracks mingled with their own. Who would have thought that there could be someone else next to them? Amy thought maybe they left those marks when they took the picture and moved away from each other. But these were other traces. Their tracks were clearly visible, but these tracks, which seemed to be two more people, were not yet completely covered with snow. Amy and Josh were troubled by this mystery because the tracks looked so new that they would have been able to spot whoever was following the couple.
What? Josh, look at that. This is not our traces. Who else is out here?
Distant cries echo through the forest, their haunting echoes reverberating in the couple's ears. Darkness descends rapidly, and the snowfall intensifies, enveloping their surroundings in a blinding white. Well, everything started. But perhaps this is not a reason to panic. Josh thought about it, looked at his watch, and realized that in an hour it would be dark in this snowy forest, and what should they do if they couldn't find their way to the car? He suggested that Amy not waste time on emotions and try to find shelter for the night. He was sure that they had not gone that far, and that perhaps they would be able to find a hunting lodge or a small cave where they could spend the night. Josh was better prepared for their hike than Amy. After all, he wanted to light a fire and spend time with Amy in a calm atmosphere. He also took 2 large blankets with him and did not forget about food. He was sure that everything would be enough for them to spend the night in the forest. Josh also had a knife that his father gave him last year, and he understood that in a critical situation he could scare the attacker. But he didn't tell Amy about it. He himself did not even want to imagine that this could happen, and was sure that he would only use the knife for cooking or arranging an overnight stay.
Don't be afraid, honey. Everything will be okay.
Are you sure, Josh? I think we should go to our car. The idea of staying overnight in the forest seems very dangerous. especially after everything we saw and heard.
Listen to me and believe me, everything will be fine. We won't have time to find the car. It will soon get dark, and if we can't go out to the car, what will we do then?
Amy agreed with Josh. It was very risky to stay in the dark and snowy forest at night. They didn't even know what animals lived in it, but judging by what they had seen earlier, they could guess. After 20 minutes of following the tracks, Amy saw the silhouette of a house between the trees. It seemed that they did not see him when they walked before. It didn't look like a house where someone lived. Approaching the house, they looked out the windows and, confident that they were there themselves, Josh took out a knife and opened the rusty lock of the front door. They were very happy and hurried to do everything so that it would not be cold in the house and they could spend the night here peacefully. Josh went looking for firewood, and Amy started cleaning the small stove that hadn't been fired in for years. But they still managed to do everything to spend the night in this house in the forest. Josh lit a fire in an old stove. Amy poured still warm water from a thermos into cups to warm it up and drink something hot after their restless walk. Josh decided that the door to the house needed to be propped up with something, and the window covered with pages of old newspapers that were lying next to the stove. Amy laughed at him because she was sure of peace and security. She joked that he should stand as a watchman and watch next to the door all night. But Josh was worried about something. These strange signs that they had met earlier worried him very much. And most of all, the tracks did not give him peace of mind, because he could not be sure that they had followed their tracks before finding this house. Josh was right.